Hello friends, welcome back to our channel Know the Law, and here I am, Advocate Jyoti Chodia. In the previous video, as we have seen how the Indian citizenship can be acquired and what are all the procedures for that. But in this video, we are going to study how the citizenship can be terminated, that is by the way of renouncement, by the way of termination, and by the way of deprivation. So let's begin with our today's topic one by one. So here is the topic of termination in this video, from which we are going to study how the citizenship of India can be terminated by various ways. So among them, the first way is of the renunciation, which is mentioned under section 8, which read as follows: if any citizen of India of full age and capacity makes in a prescribed manner a declaration renouncing his Indian citizenship, and that declaration shall be registered by the prescribed authority, and upon such registration that person cease to be the citizen of India. But it has the condition that is provided that if any such declaration is made during any war in which India may be engaged, registration thereof shall be withheld until the central government otherwise directs. That means the section says that if a person that has grown up and is of legal age and makes a declaration in a prescribed form to the authorities, and the authorities sanction that, then such person uh, will be free from the citizen of India and can acquire any citizenship of any country in the world. And but if there is a condition that he makes such declaration when there is a war going on in the world and in which India is a participant, then such permission will be withheld by the central government, and whatever the central government may direct, uh, it will depend upon all that process. So further moving in the subsection 2, it says that where a person ceases to be citizen of India under subsection 1, every minor child of that person shall thereupon cease to be the citizen of India. That means the person under subsection 1 who has ceased to be citizen of India, and the minor child born to that person who is ceased to be citizen of India uh, shall also not be the citizen of India. But there is also a condition for that, that any such child within 1 year after attaining the full age may make a declaration in the prescribed form and manner that he wishes to resume the Indian citizenship, and upon such declaration he can again become the citizen of India. That means a minor person who has ceased to be citizen of India because his parents or his guardian has ceased to be a citizen of India, but after attaining the age of maturity or attaining the age of mm, legal age, he can make a prescribed a written statement in a prescribed form to the government or to the authorities that he wants to resume the citizenship of India and doesn't want to be citizen of any other country. Then he can be resumed as a citizen of India, but it should be done within 1 year after attaining of such age of maturity. That is the condition provided. Coming to the next section 9, which speaks about the termination of citizenship. It says that any citizen of India who by naturalization process or registration there otherwise voluntarily acquires, or as any time between the 26th of January 1950 and the commencement of this act, voluntarily acquire the citizenship of any other country, shall upon such acquisition as the case may be, such commencement cease to be citizen of India. That means in earlier video we have seen the process of naturalization, and by that process if any person has acquired the citizen of India and but later on the person has acquired the citizen of any other country and have not informed to the government authorities thereupon automatically cease to be citizen of India. That means after acquiring the citizen of any other country, that means he will not be any more the citizen of India. But provided there is again condition for that, provided that nothing in this subsection shall apply to a citizen of India who during any war in which India may be engaged voluntarily acquires the citizenship of any other country until the central government otherwise declares. That means if any of the citizen of India acquires during the war like situation going in the world and to the applies a citizenship of any other country, in such case his citizenship will not be withdrawn and until the central government may give directions according to that in the upcoming time. So this is all about this section 9. It further says that in subsection 2, if any question arises as to whether, when or how any citizen of India has acquired the citizenship of another country, it shall be determined by such authority in such manner and having regard to such rules of evidence as may be prescribed in this behalf. That means if there is any question arising about as to whether, how and when the citizen of India had acquired the citizenship of any other country, then uh, it shall be determined that he has acquired the citizenship of any other country or not. It shall all depend on such rules and evidences as may be prescribed in this behalf by the authorities as such. So next upcoming section is the section 10, in which the third way of termination of citizenship is said, that is by the way of deprivation. That means a citizen of India who is by naturalization or by virtue of any clause of C of Article 5 of the Constitution or by the registration otherwise than under clause B or 2 of Article 6 of the Constitution or clause E of subsection 1 of section 5 of this act. This act means Citizenship Act of 1955 shall cease to be the citizen of India if he is deprived of the citizenship by an order of the central government under this section. That means if the central government directs that the particular person that we who have acquired the citizenship by way of Article 5 or Article 6 or Section 5 of this Act says she is to be a citizen of India, then the citizenship of such person shall be terminated by under the Section 10 of the Indian Citizenship Act. But the subject to the provisions of this section, the central government may by order deprive any such citizen of India if it is satisfied that. But the central government again puts some rules and regulation after satisfying that procedure, then and then only that person's citizenship of India can be terminated. So what are such rules or the regulation? Let's see them one by one. So among them the first one is the registration or the certificate of naturalization was obtained by means of fraud or false representation or the concealment of any material fact. That means if any of such procedure is done by means of fraud or misrepresentation or false representation, then his citizenship will be terminated. Again, what is the second condition? That citizen has shown himself by an act or speech to be disloyal or disaffected towards the Constitution of India as by law established. That means in any way of his action or his any manner, he shows that he disrespects the Constitution of India or the country's laws in any way, then such person's citizenship of India can be terminated at any point of time without giving him any of kind of the notice or anything. Next, the third condition is that such citizen has during any war in which India may be engaged, unlawfully traded or communicated with an enemy or been engaged in or associated with any business that was to his knowledge carried on in such a manner as to assist an enemy in that war. That means during the war in which the India was a party, and during such war the person has by any means or act helped the enemies to win the war or done such activities keeping in the knowledge that India is a part of that and want to harm the country in any of such manner, then his citizenship of India can be terminated at that point of time. Next condition is that the citizen has within 5 years after registration of naturalization been sentenced in any country to imprisonment for a term not less than 2 years. That means if any person is in imprisonment in any of the countries in the world for not less than 2 years, that means the minimum requirement of that imprisonment is of 2 years, then the citizenship of such person can be terminated at any point of given time. So these are the conditions in which the person's citizenship of India can be terminated. So coming up to the next condition, that is the last condition, that the citizen has been ordinarily resident out of India for a continuous period of 7 years, and during that period has neither been at any time of a student of any educational institute in a country outside India or in service of the government of India or a member of international organization of which India is a member, or not registered annually in the prescribed manner at an Indian consultant, and his intention to retain his citizen of India. That means if any person who is out of India has neither been a student in any educational institute nor in the service of the government of India, being staying outside of India, or a part of any international organization in which the India is a member, or haven't registered to the Indian consultant to retain his membership as an Indian, then his uh, citizenship of India can be terminated at the given point of time. So this is how the citizenship of India can be terminated or taken away by the government by way of renunciation, by way of deprivation, and by way of termination, that is by willing or by force, which are mentioned under the following section. It further says that the central government shall not deprive a person of a citizenship under this section unless it is satisfied that it is not conducive to the public good that the person should continue to be a citizen of India. That means after satisfying that such person wants to willingly cease to be a citizen of India or have taken such actions or moves that it is against the security of India, then and then only the citizenship of that person can be terminated. Otherwise, it cannot be. So again it says that before making an order, the central government shall give the person against whom the order is proposed to be made a notice in writing informing him of the ground on which it is proposed to be made of his rights upon making an application thereupon in the prescribed manner to have his case referred to a committee of inquiry under this section. That means the here also the fairness of the justice is to be conducted. That is, the rights of the both the parties has to be heard until and unless that justice cannot be delivered. And same is the case in this as well. The central government has to give an opportunity for an explanation to the person whose citizenship has to be terminated, to put up upon his views in front of the committee which has been created upon the inquiry of such person on whose the citizenship of the person has to be terminated, to give a fair chance to represent himself before such committees, and the reasons why he has done all these wrongs, or why he wants to cease, voluntarily cease to be the citizen of India, and so on. So now moving further to our next topic, that is of the amendments which have been made or to the Indian Citizenship Act till now, one by one. The first amendment was done in the year of 1986 to the Act. Uh, the what amendments were made to the Indian Citizenship are as follows. Firstly, according to this amendment, a person who is not born in India would be granted the citizenship, but at the time of the birth of the person, it is necessary that either of the one parents has to be the citizenship of India. That means it brought a change by amending the act, that if a person is not born in India, he can be created the citizenship of India, but for that condition is that either of his one of the parents should be the citizen of India. Then and then only he can acquire the citizen of India. And the next condition or the next amendment was that the maximum time period acquired to stay in India to acquire its citizenship in the case of registration or naturalization of marriage or by way of marriage was also modified in by doing this amendment. So in coming to the next amendment, that was in the 1992, it made again various changes in the act. First of all, it changed that it stipulated if a person is born after the 26th of January 1950 but before the commencement of this act, then he would be considered as citizen of India, but his father should be the citizen of India at that point of time. That means any person who has born after the 26th of January, that means after the uh, commencement of the Constitution of India, and before the passing or commencement of the Citizenship Act, during that period, if any person is born in India and his father can be acquired the citizen of India, but the condition is that his father should be the Indian at the time when such person was born. Next amendment was done that if the person has taken birth after the commencement of the act, then he would be considered the citizen of India if either of his parents is Indian during his birth, as similar to that of in the previous amendment. And also the definition of male person was amended and it was replaced with the word persons, uh, giving its gender neutrality to the act. The next amendment was to the act was done in the year 2003. It amended the provisions regarding the registrations right of the overseas of the citizens. So this Act of Citizenship Amendment Act 2003 brought some changes in the procedure of registration and the rights which are given to the overseas citizen of India. Next, in 2005, again the amendment came to the Citizenship Act, in which the following changes were again made. It made the changes to the incorporation citizen of dual system of citizenship. That means it incorporated to the some extent the dual citizenship in India, which will be studied further, and also it made the provision about the application of citizen of all countries except for the person who have been the citizen of Pakistan or the Bangladesh. That means any person can apply for the citizenship to India except the persons of belonging to the Pakistan and the Bangladesh. So these were the changes that were brought in 2005. Again, recently in 2016, again the amendment came to the act, and which again I mean some of the following provisions. One I will read out one by one. Among them, the first one was the bill introduced or allowed the Indian citizens of minor communities like Sikh, Buddhist, Jain, Paris, or the Christians who have illegally migrated from the Pakistan, Bangladesh, and Afghanistan to become given a chance to them to become the citizen of India. Again, it made a change that Muslim communities from Pakistan, Bangladesh, and Afghanistan were not allowed to be citizen of India. That means the citizen of the minor communities were allowed to be a citizen of India, and the major communities, that is the Muslim communities, were not allowed to be a citizen of India, just because they belong to the countries like Pakistan, Bangladesh, and Afghanistan. So moving further to the next provision or the that has been made by this Act of 2016 is that the maximum period required to reside in India to acquire the citizen of India was decreased from the 11 years to the 6 years. That was a major change brought by this act. Earlier, there used to be a 11 years of stay to be citizen of India to be acquired, but in 2016 it was reduced to the 6 years, and it was made easy for the people who want to be a citizen of India to just stay for the 6 years in the country and can acquire the citizen of India. And this applicable was applicable to for the minor communities like Sikh, Buddhist, Jain, Paris, or Christian who illegally migrated from the Pakistan, Bangladesh, and Afghanistan. So this was the change brought into the act from the 11 years to the 6 years, and was applicable only to the person who have illegally migrated to India from the minor communities like Sikh, Buddhist, Jain, Parsi, and Christian from the Pakistan or the Bangladesh or the Afghanistan to the India. So the next amendment was recently made in 2019. It paved a forward to a major change in the act. Let's see them what were the major changes which were made and by this act. First of all, it brought the changes that uh, the uh, the act was said to amend the Citizenship Act of 1955 to make Hindu, Sikh, Buddhist, Jain, Paris, and Christians illegal migrants from Afghanistan, Bangladesh, and Pakistan eligible for citizenship of India. In other words, the act intend to make it easier for the persecuted people from India's neighboring countries to become the citizen of India. The second major change was that the legislation applies to those who were forced or compelled to make shelter in India due to the persecution on the grounds of the religion. Uh, It aims to protect such people from proceedings of illegal migration. That means in the countries like the Afghanistan, Bangladesh and Pakistan, in which there were the threats to their religion, to the religion of minor communities. Such people used to come as migrates illegally to the country of India, and to protect such persons or give the shelter such persons, the act was majorly amended for that purpose, and made easier for them to make or take a shelter in country and become the citizen of India. Again, more amendments were made. It again relaxed the requirement of from the 11 years process to 6 year, and now in this amendment it was made to the 5 years. But as a specific condition for only of those six religion, that is of be the Parsi, be for the Jains, be for the Christians, Buddhism and much more. Again, the cutoff date for the citizenship is December 31st of December 2014, which means the applicant should have entered India on or before that date. That means if any person have entered in India before the 31st of December 2014, can easily make the application for being the citizen of India without any unnecessary uh, complicated procedure, can apply for the citizen of India. The further amendment which came by this act was that on acquiring the citizenship of India, such person shall be deemed to be the citizen of India from the date of their entry into India. And again, the second was that all illegal proceedings against them in respect of their illegal migration or the citizenship will be closed. That means once they have acquired the citizen of India, uh, the the proceedings which are going against them about the illegal migration will be closed. Again, such person shall be deemed to be citizen of India from the date when they have entered into Indian territories, and not from the date on which they have registered as an Indian citizenship. So, lastly, it says that people holding the overseas citizenship card and immigration status permitting a foreign citizen of India origin to live and work in India indefinitely can lose their status if they violate the local laws for major or minor offences and violation. This was also a major setback by this amendment. If any of the person who is of Indian origin and lives in any other country and have the card of the overseas Indian citizen and have came to India for living or in India for indefinite time, but at any given of point of time, if he or she violates the laws of the countries, be it the minor or the major laws, he will be at that point of time without giving any reasons, will be terminated as the citizenship of India. There are also exceptions to this act which were made by this amendment. Among them, the first is the act aids that the provisions of the citizenship for illegal migrants will not apply to the tribal areas of Assam, Meghalaya, Mizoram and Tripura as included in the 6th schedule of the constitution. That means whatever the provisions have been made for the illegal migrants will not apply to the tribal areas of the eastern India, that is of the Assam, Meghalaya, Mizoram and Tripura. Again, next exception is that these tribal areas, what are the tribal areas included under this act are as follows. First of all, it is the Karbi Anglong in Assam. Second is the Garo Hills in Meghalaya. Third is the Chakma district in Mizoram and Tripura tribal areas district. These are the areas which are accepted or from these provisions of the amendment. Again, the third exception is that it will also not apply to the areas under the inner light permit under the Bengal Eastern Frontier Regulation of 1873. That means whatever the provisions or amendments were brought by 2019 will also not apply to the areas which comes under the line of permit under the Bengal Eastern Frontier Regulation Act regulation of 1873 as well. So this is all about the termination of the Indian Citizenship Act and the amendments done so far till date to the act as such. As we have seen in earlier that what is the situation, the stand on the dual citizenship of the in India. As we have seen in the constitution of while going through the constitution provisions from Article 5 to 11 that India provides only the single citizenship to the people, but there is a single provision for being the dual acquiring the dual citizenship uh, as well. So what are all that provisions? Let them see one by one. Availing the dual citizenship of India and other country requires certain strict provisions. That means any person can acquire the dual citizenship of India, but there is a condition for that. But earlier, as I said earlier, there was no provision for the dual citizenship in India. These certain provisions are required to be fulfilled to obtain dual citizen in India. But later on through the amendments, after the 2003 onwards, they made a provision for acquiring a dual citizenship. But it can be acquired after following a strict regulation only. So what are that regulation? Let's see them one by one. Among them, the first one is when a person from another country is working in India and their child is born in India, then dual citizenship is granted to that child until the period of employment in India. That means a person, a person from another country and who is working in the India. That means any foreign person who is working in India and his child is born in India can acquire the citizenship of both the countries. But it can be applicable unless and until that child works in or employs in India until that time only. If he doesn't grant an employment in India, then his dual citizenship of India will be taken away. The next is that a minor of Indian origin has the right to hold the dual citizen of India as well as of another country. The minor is provided with the dual citizen so that the minor child chooses the preference of nationality before the 6 months of attaining the age of 18. That means a person who is of Indian origin and now residing in another country, be it for the educational purpose, be it for the employment purpose or any other purpose, and his child is born, to the child has the right to choose does he want to become the citizen of that country where his parents are residing, or he wants to become the citizen of India from where his parents are origin. This choice is available to the child until the age of maturity. Once he attains the age of maturity, this choice of dual citizenship will be taken away. And before attaining the age of maturity, that is of the until the age of 18 years, before attaining that age prior to the 6 months, he will be given a choice that he wants to retain the citizenship of India or of the country where he is living, and in such cases only the dual citizenship of India can be given. And being the only India has the single citizenship, and it is one of the unique features of the Indian Constitution. And so this is all about how the citizenship of India can be acquired, can be terminated, and what are the amendments still taken till date, and how the dual citizenship stand, and what are the restrictions for them, and much more. Hope you guys you liked my video. If you have any queries, do comment in the comment section and let us know. And if you have liked our video, do please share our videos, and please don't forget to subscribe our channel and share with other peoples as well. See you in the next video. Till then, take care, stay happy, stay healthy. Thank you.